The road disappeared at 7:43 p.m. Not because of a storm, not because of construction, because the HOA had deliberately chained it shut. And the strangest part? They had done it for me. I stood at the end of my driveway, staring at the heavy steel chain stretched across the community road. A bright red sign hung from it. Road closed. HOA authorization. I looked around. The neighborhood was completely silent. Then my phone buzzed. It was a message from the HOA president, Karen Mitchell. Maybe now you'll understand what happens when residents refuse to follow community rules. I stared at the message. What rule did I break? I whispered. Then I noticed something. The chain wasn't just blocking my driveway. It was blocking the only direct road connecting our neighborhood to the main highway. I immediately called Karen. She answered on the third ring. Karen, what is this? Her voice was cold. You were warned. Warned about what? Your repeated refusal to cooperate with the HOA. I looked at the chain. You closed an entire community road because I wouldn't sign your new parking agreement? You've been causing problems for months, she snapped. Tonight, we're making sure you understand that rules have consequences. I laughed in disbelief. You can't just close a public access road because you're angry with me. There was a pause. Then Karen said something that made my stomach drop. We already did. The call ended. I walked toward the chain. That's when I noticed a second detail. There were fresh tire tracks on the dirt beside the road. Someone had driven around the barrier recently. I crouched down and touched the dirt. Still wet. Someone had gone through after the chain was installed. But why? Before I could figure it out, headlights appeared behind me. Karen's SUV rolled slowly toward the barrier. She lowered the window. You should go home. I stepped toward her. You need to remove this. No. Karen, this road belongs to the community. And you're a member of the community who refuses to follow its rules. You're punishing me. She smiled. Maybe. I pointed at the chain. What if someone needs emergency access? Karen shrugged. They can use the main entrance. There is no main entrance right now. This is the only road open toward the highway. Her expression didn't change. Then perhaps you should have thought about that before causing trouble. She drove away. I watched her taillights disappear. Something about her confidence bothered me. It was almost like she knew something I didn't. At 8:16 p.m., I was inside my house when I heard tires screech outside. Then, bang! I ran to the window. A car had stopped near the closed road. My neighbor, Mr. Lewis, was standing beside it, waving frantically. I ran outside. What happened? He pointed toward the road. My wife called 911. My heart stopped. Why? She collapsed. I looked at the chain road. Where's the ambulance? They're coming from the highway. I grabbed my phone. Then they can get here in 2 minutes. Mr. Lewis shook his head. Not anymore. What? The dispatcher said the ambulance is being routed around the north side. I stared at him. That'll take 20 minutes. He nodded. She can't wait 20 minutes. I immediately called Karen, she answered. What? Lewis's wife needs an ambulance. Open the road. Silence. Then Karen said, Emergency services know the alternate route. You're wasting time. I don't control emergency services. You control that chain. Her voice became irritated. Don't turn this into another argument. This isn't an argument, Karen. Someone could die. She hung up. I looked at Mr. Lewis, then I heard sirens. Far away, too far away, and suddenly I saw something moving beyond the barrier. A man in a reflective vest was walking toward us. He wasn't an EMT. He was an HOA maintenance worker, and he was carrying another chain. I stepped toward him. Why are you adding another chain? He stopped. I was told to secure the road. By who? He hesitated, then whispered, "Karen?" I felt my blood boil. "You're locking it tighter while someone is waiting for an ambulance?" He looked terrified. "I just follow orders." I grabbed my phone and started recording. "Say that again?" He immediately turned away. Then the ambulance appeared. But it was on the wrong road. Its lights flashed through the trees. The driver reached the intersection and stopped. The road was blocked. I could see the paramedic get out. He looked at the chain, then at his GPS, then back at us. "Is there another entrance?" he shouted. "No!" I yelled. Mr. Lewis screamed, "My wife is inside!" The paramedic ran back to the ambulance. I turned toward the HOA worker. "Open it! I can't!" "You can! I'll lose my job!" I stepped closer. "Someone could lose their life!" He froze. Then suddenly, crack! A loud metallic sound echoed through the neighborhood. Everyone turned. The chain had snapped. Not because of the ambulance. Because Mr. Lewis had driven his old pickup directly into the barrier. The truck's bumper was crushed. But the road was open. The ambulance surged forward. 2 paramedics jumped out and ran toward Lewis's house. I stood there, breathing heavily. Karen's SUV appeared at the corner. She got out screaming. "What did you do?" I pointed toward the ambulance. "I opened your road. You damaged HOA property. You blocked emergency access. You had no authority." I stepped closer. "And neither did you." Karen looked at the ambulance, then at the broken chain. Her face changed. For the first time that night, she looked scared. 20 minutes later, the paramedics came outside. Mr. Lewis stood beside them. His hands were shaking. "She's stable," one paramedic said. Everyone exhaled. Then the paramedic looked directly at Karen. "You were responsible for that road closure?" Karen hesitated. "Aye," he interrupted. "Because our dispatch system flagged this road as an emergency access route." Karen's face went pale. "What?" The paramedic pulled out his tablet. "This road is designated for emergency access." I looked at Karen. She couldn't speak. Then my phone buzzed. An email from the county transportation department. Subject: Unauthorized road closure. I opened it. The message said the county had received a complaint about an HOA blocking emergency access. Attached was a photograph of Karen installing the chain earlier that evening. But there was something even stranger. The photo wasn't taken by me. Someone else had sent it. Then another email arrived. This one from the HOA's own secretary. She had attached the meeting minutes from 3 months earlier. And there it was, a sentence highlighted in red. The community road must remain accessible to emergency vehicles at all times. Karen had known. She had known the entire time. She hadn't made a mistake. She had knowingly blocked the emergency route just to punish me. I looked at her. "You didn't just break an HOA rule tonight." She stared at the ground. "You put everyone here at risk." Karen tried to respond. But before she could, a police cruiser pulled into the neighborhood. Then another. An officer stepped out holding a folder. "Karen Mitchell?" She slowly turned. "Yes?" "We need to talk about the road closure." Her face went completely white. The next morning, the chain was gone. The HOA sign had been removed, and the county had placed its own notice beside the road. Emergency access. Do not block. Karen resigned as HOA president 2 weeks later. But the biggest surprise came a month afterward. The HOA held a special meeting. I expected everyone to blame Karen. Instead, Mr. Lewis stood up. He placed his wife's hospital bracelet on the table. Then he said, "She almost died because someone wanted to win an argument." The room went silent. He looked at me, and if he hadn't fought that chain... He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. From that day forward, the community road stayed unlocked, and every resident received a copy of the emergency access agreement. But I kept one thing, the broken piece of that steel chain. I mounted it on my garage wall, not as a trophy, as a reminder. Because sometimes the most dangerous HOA rule isn't the one written in the handbook, it's the one someone believes they're powerful enough to enforce. And Karen learned that lesson the hard way.
Subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for new updates.